Okay, so I just realized that I forgot to email this to you guys, so I will email this to you today, just while we're in class. This was the sheet that tells my students in my other engineering class how to do their pumpkin chunking trebuchet kind of thing. And let me get that to you. This is going to be for CC ENGR1000. Let me go through it one more time. I apologize that I didn't get that out to you, but I'll go through it one more time. You're going to design and build a trebuchet, and you're going to throw projectiles with your trebuchet 3 different times for distance and for an average, and then you're going to maintain a logbook for each step of your process. Right? It's due Wednesday, October 23rd by class time, and the logbooks contain all the necessary information so that somebody else can read it and reproduce your project with similar results. Each time you work on the project, you should record something important about what you accomplished. You should not write up the logbook all at once. Just do it while you're working. So every time you work on it. And that can be a handwritten logbook, or you can keep it in Word and save it as a document, however you want to. The design parameters of your machine are the cost. You're only allowed to use the materials that I provided to you in your building kit. Don't use them all, obviously. Needs to be less than 10 inches to the top of your pivot point. So there's going to be a rotational pivot point. You're not going to have any pneumatic, electrical, or elastic components. So it has to be a gravity-operated machine, in other words. And it's going to be designed to launch a 1/4 pound projectile. So something that weighs 1/4 pound. And you want to be able to throw that more than 20 feet. Right? Now I did say that your projectile and your counterweight do not need to come from the project kit. So you're going to have a counterweight on the object, on the machine, and you're going to have a projectile. Those things you can get whatever you need to operate your machine. The safety inspection is essentially going to be how I look at your machine on how well it was built, how well it was built, and if you overbuilt, don't want you to overbuild. You want to build it sufficient to the task. You don't want to just put thousands of wood beams on it just to make sure it works. Competition details. So this tells you what you're doing. 3/4 pound projectiles. You're going to make a video of your test, a video of your successful test. And then here's the list of links that I gave you where you can learn about trebuchets and how they're built and how they're used. So that is the project that we're going into. I apologize that I didn't email that. I got a little distracted last week after class with my other project. But I'll email that to you right now here in class so we don't forget. The other thing that I want to show you is an example of a good logbook. And so let me see if I can find one here for you really quick. I'm going to go to the correct class. Let's see if this one is a good one. This one looks like a decent one. So this is a logbook made by 2 students that were doing a project building a motor. And here you can see that they start off with the names of the students. They should probably also put up here the name of the logbook. This is the electric motor logbook or something like this. But here at the very beginning they have September 29th, 10:45 a.m. They went to a website, and they give the website right here. And they explain how electric motor works. And so they're essentially just writing down what they learned from this website. And then they go to another website, a WikiHow website, on how to build a motor, and they talk a little bit about the design that they liked, and they list off the items that they're going to need to build their motor. And they also include a picture of the motor that they're going to build. So a lot of information here, but a picture is probably the most important thing. It shows you how it's put together, shows you materials, It shows you that you're going to have to, coil some wire into a ring. Then they also show a YouTube video of a similar motor. Some more explanation here. Notice that the list of materials is not just listed in a paragraph. It's listed here in a list that is easy to read, easy to figure out. Then they go on some other websites where they're talking about what they're going to have to do with the coil of wire, because there's a very important part of this where you have to strip off some part of the wire. And then they go some other ideas. And then they talk about assembling the motor, and looks, they've actually changed their motor design during this process. So now they're simplifying the motor, has fewer parts to it, and that's great. Fewer parts often means a better thing. And then they show a picture of the motor that they actually assembled. Right? And they're giving times here while they're doing this. They're doing this all essentially in 1 or 2 days, and so they're just giving times instead of dates. But if you're doing different days, you need to have different dates on there as well. Again, they're talking about here that they have made their first prototype and it failed, and so they're doing a redesign. A redesign was necessary. The first change that they did is in the support structure, and they talk about what they changed. They probably should include a picture of what they changed as well. They didn't there. But they also had another change that they made. They decided to use a different thing to stick things together. And they keep doing it, and here's a change. Here's a picture of their motor that actually works. So it's a little bit different design, and that is a pretty good logbook. It's not ideal. There's some things that might be done better, like I pointed out, but it's a pretty good logbook. And it is done sequentially. It's done in a time-stamped fashion. You should not go back and fix things in a logbook. If you forget to log something in, you log it at the end, even if it was done earlier, and just say, this was done earlier at such and such a time, and this is what we did. Make sure you include things like links to websites, lists of items, pictures of things, diagrams. Here they have a diagram. Make sure you put those things in your logbook so that it is easy for people to see what you're doing. Pictures are more important than words, but words are also necessary for clarification. So that's the thing that I'm expecting for you. Now, I did say that I wanted here by Wednesday, beginning of the day, but since I forgot to email it to you, it'll be Wednesday by the end of the day. And then on Friday, we'll go ahead with learning about giving a presentation and putting together a presentation about your motor. Next week, we will have those presentations turned in, and we will move on with the next part of the class. Now, we actually do want to be able to watch the presentations. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I think what I'm going to do is have those presentations due a week from now. So this week we'll work on the project and we'll work on the presentations, and the next week you'll turn in your presentations to me, but you'll turn them in as a video. And I will show you how to do a video presentation with PowerPoint. It's a little bit tricky. I'll have to figure out how to do it on a Windows computer, but I will demonstrate how to do that, and you guys will make a video presentation of you describing or giving your presentation, and then I will play those for the entire class. And then it will be your job to watch those videos, and I'll teach you more about that next week. But next week will be all about the presentations for this project, and then we'll move on to some more projects. Now, if you need a grade for your high school grading process, then you need to send me an email, and I can send you your grade. I will send you your grade anyway, just so you can see what you've got turned into the class and what you haven't got turned into the class. So far, we have a couple of projects that we've done with some project reports that should be turned in, which usually include pictures, videos, some type of written report with the first project, and things like that. But we've also done book work, a couple of papers, and such things. And so all those things are included in your grade that I will send out to you so you can see what you need to turn in. You're more than welcome to turn things in late in this class. Like I said before, this class is not about intimidating people or giving people bad grades. We just want you to learn about engineering. So if you're learning about engineering, get the homework done so that you can get a decent grade in this class and not have it be a blight on your record. Does anybody have any questions about how the logbook is supposed to look and what's supposed to be in it? No questions about that? Okay. So the two things that I will email to you are your grade breakdown, so you can see what you've got, and I will be emailing this sheet as well. What you should be doing today is you should be starting your project you should have started last week already, but if you didn't start last Friday, you should be starting today. You should not leave the classroom and go do something else. You should sit down, start researching this stuff that I'm emailing you, and start putting together a design, making a drawing, choosing a design that you want to go with, and so on and so forth. So let me email this stuff to you so it comes to you. If you need to get a computer to work on this, then you probably should get one. And we'll get you started on this project. Where's my new email button? I don't think I'll be able to email from this. I'm actually going to have to do my email from my office, so I'm going to take this into my office and email it to you, because it doesn't have my email list for this class on this computer for some reason. But I will go and email this from my office, and you'll have three things, actually, not two things. You'll have the paper that tells you all the information about the project, but then you'll also have, I'll give you this sample logbook, and I'll also send you your grade. So I will send that to you right now during class. You guys get started on your project, and if you have any questions, I will be around.